Namaste, everyone. Welcome, welcome. How are we feeling? This is not my usual time for coming online, but new home, new setting. Hi, Roxy. I'm drinking tea. All right, getting used to the mountain weather. Also getting used to the altitude, you guys. This morning my lip cracked. I need to get more hydrated. Hi Angie, hi everyone. How everyone's doing? Thank you for joining. Thank you for starting the topic about the holidays. Hi from Texas. I'm here in North Carolina. Love that cup. Yes, right? It's my fave. Yes, roller coaster. Yes, my hair is straight. I did my haircut as we are approaching the solstice, okay? And we just had such a powerful full moon with the activation of the gate of man and gate of God, where I do have a lot of placements, okay, especially living here. So I like to do it on straight hair. That's why. But most of the time you'll see me with curly hair. All right. This girl, just whatever. Whatever rocks there. Okay. I've had very interesting downloads approaching the solstice energy, approaching the end of the year, approaching 2025. Yes, exactly. And some of you, because obviously I relate a lot to astrology or tarot, the solstice for that is upcoming, whether you are on the northern or western or southern western north or south of the hemisphere, okay, of this earth. We're approaching Capricorn, then Aquarius, then Pisces season. Until then, there is the equinox in the spring. This is the Ace of Swords. Okay, this is the truth. Like when we are rehearsing those 3 months, this is the archetype of that card. We are going to rehearse our truth. And as I was meditating, I was seeing how we're all progressing, we're all shifting, we're all evolving, how the world is evolving. I had some interesting downloads, and I'm sure it's because we're starting with the archetype of Capricorn, because it's all about prosperity. It's a lot of mind control, how to manifest success, how to allow more of this energy that is called money. Okay, so I had this whole meditation as far as the understanding of, and downloads, because I'm meditating, but I'm receiving lots of downloads and things. And it was showing me how the next level for everyone, as we're even seeing with everything that's crypto, as far as the currency, like the money is not going to be physical anymore, it's going to be digital. And so I'm like, how is going to reflect for us as human beings? And it was showing me that it's really the capacity for us to allow more love, joy, all those positive emotions. But at the same time, I was like, okay, well, that's great. How do we do that? That's one thing. I always challenge my spirit team. I'm receiving all those downloads, and I'm like, oh, this is great. Can I get a little instruction book? How do we do this? Okay. And it's all about what it all comes down to, releasing, especially the pain body. So the emotions, because emotions are energy in motions. And it was saying it doesn't matter how everything advances in terms of intellect. As far as the human body, I don't know about you, but I don't want to put any chips to become weirdly bionic, okay? Okay. I'm fine with my human body and composition, so this is staying there. Okay. We're just extending lifespan and health. And I was seeing that the block, like the energy, the sandwich, you know, it's like, it's the best part of the sandwich. It's not the bread, it's in the middle, okay? That's the best part of the sandwich. But at the same time, that can be also the worst sandwich. That means like, what's between the two pieces, okay? And here I was like, okay, well, that's something that I already talked about when I introduced more about the different system of astrology. You know, people want to separate. They want to say like, oh, this system is not valid. This is right. This is wrong. There's a lot of division, and it creates a lot of emotional conflict or separation. And we're in time, guys, of integration. We are in times of finding our answers through integration. And some of the things that I saw to illustrate this is that, you know, all the things that I know about music technology, sound engineering, quantum physics, and all of this. This girl, she sucked at math. This girl had never planned to understand quantum concept, okay? But this girl had a lot of heart towards healing, towards wanting to find solutions, towards topics of life, okay? Topics of life, of how to figure emotional stuff out, okay? And what it showed me is that the heart, the magnetic field of the heart, you have neurons, by the way. Some of you, if you don't know, you have neurons. The same way you have neurons in your brain, they're actually called neurites. And they transmit to you, but it's not the electrical system. It's more magnetic. So only when you can slow down and tap into how you really feel, then you can get the communication. Okay? Then you can start communicating with that space. And that's what it showed me, is that I was able to understand concepts that were so complex, not from my intellectual mind, but from my desire, from my heart's desire to find the solutions, okay? And it's going to unfold differently for everyone. So all this to say, okay, to come back to the topic of what I'm seeing for the next 3 months, and especially as we're going to celebrate the solstice energy. Solstice energy, it's the next 3 months. It's in terms of season, in terms of your manifestation, it's like a refresh. And then here, according to where you are on the hemisphere, different energies, okay? But ultimately, you're finding truths about yourself. And for you to move forward with being crowned, especially in terms of success and money, because we're starting this archetype with Capricorn, okay? And there's a lot of messages around success, but how do we manifest success, especially around celebrating ourselves? Can we celebrate our lives? Can we celebrate all the efforts, even though it has not led maybe to whatever it is as far as the goals in terms of maybe dollar sign or whatever is your currency, okay? And especially when I said the word currency, the currencies are shifting. And the currency are shifting for us as spiritual beings in a human body to understand and to channel. I'm going to give you a funny life example that happened to me back in was COVID 2020 or 2019? I can't even remember. Yikes. 2020. I think. Anyway, COVID happened. It's a zoo out there, okay? I still gotta pay my rent. And I didn't have a checkbook, okay? So I have to go to the post office. Thankfully, things were good enough that we could go there, go to the post office. And I was receiving a lot of downloads through those times. I'm sure a lot of people went through different layers of awakening. And I'm there with my boyfriend next to me, holding my money. I have to do a money order for it so I can give it to my landlord. And I look at my boyfriend and I'm like, you know, the next currencies are going to be based off the amount of energy and light we can hold. And he looks at me like, where does that come from? But at the same time, you know, obviously he knows me. He's like, okay. Sounds like, okay. Yeah, sounds like this is where we could go, Audrey. Okay. And guess what happened? We get to the cashier, okay? And I did not give the money. So I'm going there. I give the amount of whatever was my rent to the person at the cashier at the post office. And they're entering the number. And I have not yet processed it with my card. But the person's computer, so the post office, the computer there, shows paid. The guy is at the computer, looks at me, looks at the computer, he's like, wait, this shows that you paid your rent and it's going to print that money order. I didn't see you put in the card. And at that moment, I look at my boyfriend, I'm like, see, perfect example of what I'm telling you. This is what's going to happen energetically. Our capacity to hold light is going to have influence over the field to the level of machines. So if this person did not check was not behind the machine, okay, I would have paid my rent just by showing up and say, this is me, this is my rent. Thank you, God. So, yeah, I mean, the person was there. So it was like, wait a second, I gotta restart. I mean, he actually has to restart the computer, I'm stopping the whole line, making a bigger mess, just because my feel is saying like, this girl, yeah, that rent paid. As I was receiving this while I was in the line. So this I could never forget the story because I'm like, that was amazing. So obviously the guy was checking what the machine was doing and kind of like restarted everything, and then I had to pay my rent. but this is what I'm talking about in terms of your vessel and your capacity to hold more space for abundance, more space for love, for joy, for everything that you want to manifest, to come into manifestation. Okay. So as I'm like realizing this, I'm like, okay, great. So now we just have to remove the pain body. And we know this is actually the hardest part of this whole journey. Okay. This is about, healing our wounds, healing what ails us, because it doesn't matter how much mind you can put behind yourself, as far as, thank you, everyone. I'm sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments, trying to stay on topic, FYI. But as far as removing those emotional wounds and the relationship with success, all this energy work and me channeling this, I'm like, okay, that's great. How can I help my tribe? How can I help myself, and how can I help my tribe? And this led me to compose a new frequency. And some of you, if you don't know, that's part of what I love doing. As much I love talking and sharing and showing up or creating my reels, the embodiment that I showcase are astrological cosmic invitation. But in order for people to feel them, they need to have that connection to their heart, okay? And some of those movements, some of those embodiments, sometimes they tap into things that we have to overcome. And when I tapped into this whole information, which, as you can see, it's like, it's a wide broadcast that I was receiving. It was like, okay, the equinox, the truth of each, ourselves, celebrating ourselves, especially, it is a time for holidays. And a lot of you guys are, celebrating other people, or sometimes you're by yourself. So there's a lot around being able to celebrate ourselves, whether or not we have family around or friends around. And so all this led me to compose a frequency that is adding up to my album, The Super Empath. And I'm talking here, and I'm very, I'm very laid back here, because this is going to I'm talking to my empath crowd there, my soul tribe, the one that are moved by their heart. And I have six frequencies so far on this album, and I thought I was done. And I didn't think I was going to add anything more, but then I added the last one, which is number 7, which is for imposter syndrome. And why did this come up so strongly is that people that are heart-centered, and especially if we're moving into an age where we have to, remove those emotional blocks to become greater vessels for more light, for new solutions, for this new earth, we have to be able to celebrate ourselves. And often people that suffer from relationships that are narcissistic, as far as maybe how they were brought up, or how, usually it starts at the core of the relationships of the family. But when you have those interactions like this, there's going to be a hard time to celebrate yourself, as far as you're always going to feel that you need to do more, that you have to give more. And you can see like those insidious beliefs, they're not gonna be able to be a frequency match to the new vessel that we are being asked to manifest energetically. I know some of you have been on this, roller coaster or journey, quest, spiritual quest, for a long time, And now we're at a level where we are expanding our vessel through, and also experiencing how our vessels are feeling now that we've removed so many emotional wounds. But I could still see that, some of those imprints, some of those wiring, they're so deep inside of us. It's so deep inside the neurons, how the brain and the neurons are connected, like that's strong wiring, okay? Very connected again to Capricorn energy, the hyper focus, okay? I wanted to create some space for the heart. And this is where I have used the same soundtrack that I use for all the super empath frequency. I didn't chant any mantra, but I added all the acupuncture points. It's called sonopuncture. I use acupuncture points that I know connected to how to create a certain effect on the body, okay, and the sound that matches this point, okay. And I use the one that I use for the psoas healing. The psoas healing is probably my most popular and viewed video on my whole YouTube channel, okay. A lot of people comment to me, and they're, people that suffer physically from a psoas injury or their hip injury, back injury, and God leads them there, okay? So I use this because it's almost like the ability to feel success and to be proud of your creation is going to be from your womb, okay? So the womb chakra, it's an energy center. But in terms of what manifests physically, the psoas is a muscle that almost works with your sacral, okay? And how you're going to make steps forward. You know, some people, if you've been feeling frozen into going after your dreams, the psoas release works very well. But here I went even deeper for addressing a recalibration with the heart, the ones that may not realize the shadow of feeling like, you know, who do you think you are? Who do you think you're going to be? You know, all those type of like spikes that narcissistic personalities can throw at you, because that's a way to control you, have power over you, diminish your light. Because a lot of people that come from their heart space, they emanate a lot of light, you guys. Heart center people emanate a lot of light. We know this, okay? So we're shifting in a time where emotional mastery and heart power is going to be supercharged. Especially 2025 is a year 9, okay? It's a year that, even though it relates to the brain, I'll tell you why it relates to the brain, because it's a 9. You see, the 6 has a belly. It's a pregnant woman. The 9 is the head, is the brain. But it's also the whole knowledge from the whole past 8 years. So hope, and that's a number that, you know, that usually if you have like a life path number 9, or your name is equal number 9, you're going to be on a path of gathering knowledge that is very heart-centered, wisdom that is from the heart, you know, the experience. So we're heading towards this type of understanding. And when I was foreseeing this, and I was like, well, wait, like that means like that's great energy, but you know, everything that is a culmination also brings an end. So when you're working with the energy of 9, you know that you're going to finish certain circles, which is great in terms of healing, in order to start 2026 then in a year 1 on the greatest note. And me as a channel, you know, that's what I received when I was meditating with the solstice energy, the Capricorn season in 2025. I kind of received this whole block that was showing me this whole year ahead, where the focus was on the emotional body. And this is where you store your pain body, okay? So do we have anyone here that knows about imposter syndrome, or suffers from imposter syndrome, or knows about this? Any questions while I sip on my tea? Oh, I didn't read the little yogi thing. Wait a second. Let's see. That might be for us, you guys. I didn't read it. I always read it, but I forgot. Be fearless. Know that all will be provided at the right time. Ooh, I love this. So that's actually really good, because what I've seen is that when you're working through your healing and you're trying to find solutions like, hey, how I'm going to do this and how I'm going to pay my rent, or how I'm going to do that, know that when you address your emotions, when you address your pain body, you're definitely going to bring the space needed to move forward with your request. When you're not receiving the insights clearly, it's usually that there is some type of trigger that is being activated. Oh, thank you guys. Did I miss? What can you tell us about intuition? This is so great. Thank you for asking. Intuition works very closely with your emotional layer of body. Now, in terms of how it manifests, if you want to nurture your intuition physically, because this girl, she likes practical things, okay, to do. your gut. Gut healing. Working with nourishing your gut, eating foods that nourish your gut, avoiding foods that don't, because realize it or not, but your stomach is your second brain. This is not Audrey saying it. This is scientifically proven and talked about, okay? So one thing that this is herbal tea. Like one thing that I have realized along my way, like caffeine, anything that has caffeine messes up my stomach. It makes me hyper focused with my mind, and then it really requires me to overwork my energy to communicate with my intuition, to communicate with my spirit team, with my higher self. So that's something. I actually have a lot of people that are following me with quitting caffeine around me. It's a challenge some days, but the peace that I get as far as that type of understanding, being able to connect with my heart, that type of field. The book you had recommended, Clean, has been helpful. Oh, hi. Yeah, Pooja, I forgot you have this page. Yes, some of you, if you are interested in books, oh no, this is what I'm using for my phone. I have it, let me see. Okay, well, you can just look it up. There's 2 books, but one in particular for the gut. It's called Clean Gut by Dr. Alejandro Junger. Junger. Okay? And how do you know whether it's fear, anxiety, or intuition saying no? Okay. All right. So anxiety and fear are a sign of misalignment. It's usually what happens is that what I like to illustrate as far as anxiety is that imagine like your higher self is there. Okay, so in terms of chakra, okay, you have your crown chakra. Just here you have your soul star chakra, okay? This is a gateway to actually connect with your soul, okay? And this is in perfect fifth with your heart, okay? What is a perfect fifth in music? It writes hit songs, okay? It's a gap between notes that opens up the heart that sounds like perfection, okay? So thank you so much, Pooja. So you have clean gut. I will make sure that I put it in my link in my shop, you guys. I'll put it out there in the highlights, or some of you if you want to send me a DM if you didn't write it down, okay? Well, let's go back to my perfection, because some of you, if you like perfection, okay? Your soul star chakra here resonates in perfection with your heart, which the perfect fifth below is the earth star chakra. It's why you came here, your mission on earth, why you showed up, what's up? Okay? So some of you, actually, all of you that are looking for your purpose, the way in is there, okay? Because everything else, the perfect fifth, boom, boom, it's in your heart, okay? It's in your heart. So to go back to my illustration as far as the intuition and fear and anxiety, okay? I always imagine that I'm like under the stream and that's alignment and I'm like, okay? Now, anxiety or fear, it puts you like this. So the more you get out of that stream of alignment, it creates, okay? And that creates, as a result, anxiety and fear. And what your intuition is usually telling you is not like, oh, you should do this or you should do that. It's, you should get back into your alignment. Your intuition, when you're experiencing anxiety or fear, you are off alignment with yourself. And the only first step that you need is to go back in that center. Then you can make decisions. Then you can figure stuff out. Okay? And this is why I do some of my frequencies. Because sometimes, been there, done that, many, many times, it's so intense. Okay, there you go. We have someone that says, how? I go to sound. This is my go-to because we know we are vibration, okay? So some of you, I have plenty of things towards fears. I have a pharmacy. Some of you go on my YouTube. There is a playlist. There's plenty of playlists. One is called the Vibrational Pharmacy. I have one that's actually the 9 solfeggios for you being in vibrational alignment. But if you're dealing with fears and insecurities, I have one for you. If you are suffering with anger or depression, I got one for you. That's how I do it, okay? Now, there's many people out there, they have their methods, and I'm the type of empath that works best with sound. It's actually part of my human design. They actually, I have something like, that's, that says like, almost like that I eat sound. Like I consume sound, like sound nourishes me. It helps me, put myself in alignment, stay in alignment. As a child, I used to eat food and I used to sing a song for the food. I used to hum. I used to hold crystals and hum a song for the crystal. So some of you, that could be something that you want to look into, maybe your human design, and see if that's something you function on. I'm going to go back a little bit. I saw, Love the Pharmacy has helped me so much with my healing. Thank you so much, Pooja. Okay, I saw someone that wrote how can I connect with my soul in every moment of my life? Sometimes I don't feel connected. Okay, don't expect to always be connected, okay? Because part of our growth and our advancement is to sometimes experience the duality of, well, it doesn't feel like I'm aligned. Every time that I experience this, I know that I'm facing some opportunity and gift for growth, okay? So, for example, you guys, when I received this whole download with the money and the heart and everything we've talked about, before I created the frequency, all of this that I received created in me this activation of a shadow. And I was like, what is this shadow? It doesn't feel good at all. All right. And now I'm used to the process of shadow work, which is like, hello, who are you? I think I was using actually, because I all the pick a card readings that I do for you guys, I do the energy work because I follow the guidance, because when I channel it, I'm like, oh, damn, I was good there. Oh, that's totally helpful. So I go there, and I think I was working with some type of heart womb recalibration, okay? Some heart, again, we know how important it is to manifest this whole abundance and this whole next generation, 2025, the whole money, the whole process. So as I'm doing this, I'm seeing the shadow. And when I talked to the shadow, I was like, what's up? Who are you? Okay? And as I saw the communication, it reminded me of something I experienced as a child and as a young adult, the who do you think you are from a narcissistic parent. And you're so welcome. And that right away, I was like, wait a second, I think I know what that is. I think it's called imposter syndrome. So I went to research about imposter syndrome and I listened to it, and I was almost like in shock and in tears just watching how this sentence had affected me, but it was so hidden. So I kind of made peace with it, and I'm like, okay, I know you're here. your time is up. We got stuff to do, okay? How are we healing this? And this is how I came up with everything that I shared as far as the composition. You know, it comes from narcissistic people and personalities. It obviously showed me how it was part not just of the parent, but the grandparent, and how it was some type of generational trauma that I was breaking. And I was not in a place where, you know, I could talk about it. It was just so much download. And I was like, oh my God, I want to figure this out because I know my tribe. Some of you I've known for years now. I love you. Thank you for being on this journey, crazy, with me through the ups and the downs. No matter how many followers, some of you follow me since I have like 2000s, okay? And I'm like, how are we going to go for 2025? How am I going to help people for the whole like Ace of Swords energy? And this is how I got the answer through sound. And it's really what was interesting in that process is that it showed me that my drive, my greater drive, was actually because I wanted to help the people that I care about, the people that support me and that I support. And it really got me emotional because I was like, it reminded me as a child, I was often the new kid. And I was often just outcasted. But I was not the only one outcasted. But I used to create a group of the outcast. And I used to, you know, boost them up. Because I needed that boost, you know. And while I was connecting with this whole energy, I was like, damn, this is still my main fuel, you know. It's like my heart, like supporting the people that I know have gone through the same things, whatever shape and form it comes up with, you know. So yeah, woo. All right, let me catch up a little bit, you guys. I've seen a lot of things, and it's hard to talk. And thank you, everyone. I'm getting a lot of, how can I decide I should take a job which popped up or not? Okay, I think Lenka.dro, sorry to just shout you out, but you asked a question. As far as the frequencies, you have two options. If you like straight sound, you can work with my pharmacy. There is one that's called the vibrational, something with the nine solfeggio. Let me see. I really feel, but some of you, if you have a decision overall, okay, overall of if something is for you or not for you, go and check out my law of attraction and sacred union. It is meant to make you aware of your point of attraction. Are you attracting what you really want, or are you attracting something that you need in order to heal? Okay, so that means obviously everything is happening for a reason, but in terms of like weeding out what's for you, the law of attraction and sacred union, okay, in terms of practicing your vibrational alignment, 9 solfeggio activation. You know, when I created this, I actually was trying, and I hope I did good, you guys, you'll tell me, to recreate energetically in terms of sound, how to create the vortex of being in alignment with my higher self. And some of you, if you follow Abraham Hicks, okay, some of those teachings and channelings, this is what I wanted to help people attune to. the vortex. Okay, so that's what I have as far as an answer. Yes, sound. Have you seen the recent study how the sound frequency removed a tumor permanently from their body? Yes, honey, hustle, Alexi. I actually had a tumor. Some of you, if you may see the scar. Yeah, okay. I got it operated. Ooh, it's gonna be my anniversary. With my tumor. On the solstice, so 12/21 of, was it 2021? 2021. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. And I had known about the sound healing, and I've tried my best, and I know the engineering around it. It's 11 times, okay, in terms of attuning to this. But I didn't know a lot of things that I know now. So I wasn't able to remove it with sound, but I knew at a higher level that part of my full healing was to face some of my fears around the medical environment. I had a lot of accidents in my life. I broke my hip twice, was paralyzed for a couple of weeks, had to learn how to walk again. I had a lot of ailments, a lot of things manifested energetically in my physical body very strongly. So I had a lot of trauma around trusting doctors, which was a whole process of manifesting the perfect doctor with the perfect recovery, and it was on a solstice energy, which was amazing because obviously you don't choose your surgery date, but that's what was given to me. So I'm going to kind of like end here. I think we were talking a lot about a lot of things, but this is kind of a little bit of things that I wanted to share with you guys, as I just released the imposter syndrome frequency. It is going to help a lot of you that I've connected, especially on heart levels, because you are strong empaths, gone through many traumas, abuse, through, toxic relationships, narcissistic parenting, even romances, lies and betrayals. And some of you, as far as manifesting success, you might not realize how much it may have impacted your subconscious belief. How it may be just your next level up, that awareness, that voice, that connection. And some of you, I'm trusting like the frequency can help you have a conversation with that shadow, because the shadow only wants to protect you. Why it was showing me, it was like this shadow was actually not even mine. It was inherited and it was kind of projected onto me. So that story almost didn't make, it made sense, but it came so from so many generations that I was like, it makes no sense anymore. Okay, and that's something, you guys, that we are actually seeing in a lot of wars, and the incapacity of making peace. Because there are like stories that generation pass on and on. So some of you, if you are about healing the world, know that this type of energy where you want to see manifested peace on the outside in other countries. I've seen some people posting about this, in the feed here of the chat. If you want this, you have to address your own shadows that don't make sense, the ones that you inherited, the ones that keep you at war with yourself. And again, my only way to address this is through meditation with sound, okay? And that's something that has changed my life, changed my manifestation. I was someone that had moved homes over 50 times, okay, and I'm 46. Manifested, a home where I can call it home and can build my roots. And that has been that has been a whole long journey. And that's what I'm wishing for everyone, is to find their place that they call home, find the relationships, the partnerships, the jobs, you know, the family, the sense of family that makes them feel loved and appreciated, and especially celebrated. Because I had this very cute reel, okay, with this little girl dancing about entering the era of celebrating yourself. And I was like, okay, but right now I can feel energetically a lot of people are going through tough times. All right, so I couldn't be like hypocrite, you know. I was like, yeah, we are meant to celebrate ourselves. This is the end of the year. You're supposed to celebrate ourselves. But I could feel so many people who were struggling with that. Okay? And I wanted to gift you something. And that's a frequency. Thank you so much. Tikimnu, love you too. Thank you so much, you guys, for showing up for yourselves. And yeah, so you'll see that little girl saying, yeah, you're entering, because you are entering a time where you're going to celebrate yourself, all your efforts, all the ones that have been on this journey with me and working hard at it. And when I mean working hard, it's like doing the hard work of looking at themselves and their shadows and not giving up. You're going to reap the rewards. You're going to start opening up that vessel of yours to manifest a greater light, greater amount of success, greater amount of love and joy and money. Okay? It's all the same. It's just manifests as a different tool. And you're going to see now the money is going to be digital. So you're like one middleman that's cut. Okay? And some of you, if you didn't listen to from the beginning of this video, please go back, because there's this story about how I made the computer pay my rent without paying. But yeah, that was a fun story to experience. And I'm glad that, 3 years later, the story comes to light and just has a very high purpose. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Audrey, you say your way, but this is literally the strongest way. Thank you. Frequency healing is the strongest form of healing in the future of medicine. I agree. Thank you so much, everyone. So good to connect with you guys. I'm sending you blessings. Know that I pray for you. When I go to bed at night, I connect with you and I am sending you blessings. I wanted you to hear that I'm sending you great wishes for this holiday. And yes, you're going to celebrate, but I want to invite you to celebrate yourself first, because you rock. Love you guys. Thank you for showing up. Bye.